Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for installment of Scott's Selections here for Sunday, February 20th. For today's play of the day, quick recap of what begins. We're having a loss in college basketball with Idaho State, -2.5 and -120 on DraftKings. Unfortunately for us, Idaho State actually played well. Sacramento State just had one of the best offensive performances in the history of the program. Sacramento State, the 25th worst offense in the nation, according to KenPom, shot 57.7% from the floor and 64.3% from the three-point line, which is just otherworldly. I mean, you're looking at the numbers for Sacramento State. This offense is as bad as KenPom suggests. They are awful, and that they had the best game of the season. And Idaho State still led it to half somehow, but ended up falling apart in the second half. Sacramento State scored, I believe it was 47 in the second half, but either way, that kind of sums up what college basketball has been for us this season. One of the worst offenses in the country just goes off for 80 and shoots 57+% from the floor and 60+% from three. So is what it is. We'll look for a bounce back winner here on Sunday. But for the play today, we're going to transition and talk about some tennis because you do have a title match taking place in Delray between Norrie and Reilly Opelka. And for the matchup here, we're going to take Norrie on the money line at -126 on FanDuel. Time recording of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the match itself will take place at around 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Norrie in the spot. First of all, in head-to-head, Norrie's actually been better. Norrie has won 2 of the first 3 matches, including the most recent matchup, which took place in 2021 on hard court, where Norrie won in straight sets. Surprisingly, no tiebreaker. So Norrie actually did a pretty good job of getting to Opelka's serve. But the main reason why I like Norrie in the spot is because of the scheduling spot and how brutal it is for Opelka. Now, of course, we know for the smaller tournaments, you don't pretty much ever get a day off in between matches. Usually you're playing 1 match per day. And Opelka has been playing a bunch of matches over the past week and a half. You want to go through his actual schedule. He played 4 matches last week at Dallas. He ended up winning that championship, beat Brooksby in the final. But he played 4 matches last week, had 3 days off, and then he's played 3 matches in the last 3 days, with each of those 3 matches going to 3 sets. So I do think fatigue should play a factor in this matchup for Opelka. Plus, you want to go through the actual time on the court in this tournament alone, not even including the Dallas tournament last week. Opelka's been on the court for 7 hours and 21 minutes in his 3 matches combined. Meanwhile, Norrie has been on the court for 5 hours and 1 minute. So, translation, Norrie's had a much easier time getting to the final of Delray. And to go through the actual matches in the semis yesterday, Norrie had the earlier match in the late afternoon, and he ended up beating Tommy Paul in straight sets. That match took about 76 minutes total. Meanwhile, Opelka was the late match, and he ended up having an absolute war with John Millman. That match went 3 sets, 3 tiebreakers, and the match was a final total of 180 minutes. So Norrie was on the court for about an hour and 20. Opelka was on the court for 3 hours. That was yesterday alone. I do have to wonder how Opelka is going to hold up for a 2 out of 3 match in this one, especially since we know Opelka is not a guy that's accustomed to be on the court for that long. As a big serve guy, we know he's usually on the court for, I'd say, maybe an hour and a half in straight sets, usually 2 hours tops for 3-set matches, but 3 hours, that's an absolute grind, and not to mention the 3-set matches he was in previously in the first couple rounds of this tournament. But at the end of the day, Norrie definitely should be the fresher guy. He's been better in the head-to-head, leading 2-1. And I do wonder if this match is going to be close, which I think it's going to be. Do I think that Opelka is going to start declining once the match actually gets into the late second and even the entire third set? I do. I think Norrie's going to be fresh. I think he'll look sharp. And I do think he will make Opelka work in his service games, which he has in the past, which should definitely make this, let's just say, a less than pleasurable experience for Opelka. So this might be close. There might be some ebbs and flows here, but I do think Norrie eventually will get the job done and really just wear down a potentially fatigued Opelka en route to most likely a very tough 2-set or just a 3-set win. So play that once again here for Sunday, February 20th is going to be on Norrie on the money line at -126 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.